the guy that was putting this truck together on the assembly line, he had no idea what it was going to become. So we're here with Joe Hardin today talking about his 47 Ford truck that he built, and it's pretty amazing. I'm going to let Joe tell us a little bit about it.
Well, to start with, it's all about the motor. If you're a real hot rodder, it's all about the motor.
Yeah.
It's not about anything else but the motor.
That's for sure.
And I knew of a 427 side oiler south of me about 30 miles, and Craig Hunt owned it, and I tried to get it a few times, and then one morning he walked into my shop and he asked me if I wanted it. And I thought, no. What's the price? He told me it was in Phoenix. If I'd go get it, I could have it.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, you know where I was the next morning. So I went and got it, and then all my friends, remember the old Thunderbolt days, said, get a Fairlane, put it in a Fairlane. I said, I'm a truck guy.
Yeah.
So it was a year or better. I said, I'll know the truck when I see it. So I'm over at JC's mechanic shop, and this truck is sitting out there.
Yeah.
And I said, that's the truck. So the rest is history, and here it is.
Yeah, it looks amazing, Joe. It's really cool that you left it, you didn't go sand it and prime it. It looks awesome. It's cool that you kept it, with the patina the way it is.
Well, and it is hard to find a patina truck that isn't too far gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's still good enough to build on, and this one was perfect in my opinion.
Yeah, it's rare that somebody hasn't taken their sander on a weekend and said, okay, today's the day I'm going to fix this truck, and then primer it all up and just
and then once they're there, then you got to go try to Pebble Beach the darn thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. There's no going back from that.
Exactly. So it was perfect for me. What I wanted to do. Building like this is super fun because if you take it to Safeway and get door dinged, you don't even know.
It just adds more character, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, you mind walking us around it real quick and showing us some of the highlights?
All right, starting, I wanted a traditional hot rod.
Yeah.
Really traditional, so I left the straight axle under it, and then I put a big old commercial 24-to-1 steering box. I totally boxed the front horns and sunk that box in there, and then I took 1.25 DOM and made the tie rod so they'd be strong enough to be safe.
Yeah, because the engine, this engine weighs quite a bit more than the old flat.
It did, and then I had the springs added to, and then I bought the Willwood 12-inch kits.
Yeah, for the brakes?
Yeah.
Yeah, those look amazing. Yeah,
because you're probably up over 450 horsepower. You want some decent brakes in it.
Yeah, those have a little more stopping power than what this thing came out with.
This thing, it started being a lot of fun, so I got a brother that's a pipe fitter, obviously, and I called him up and I said, Jim, let's build an insane, goofy-looking gas tank for this thing.
Yeah.
So he said, I got some ideas. So he come up with this and built it for me. And then we call it the Lunar landing craft. But anyway, and then see here, we put the sending unit in it. And it goes down, and it's out of a round truck tank, commercial truck tank.
Yeah.
And then I matched it to the gauge, so it works like a dream.
So it reads properly.
Oh yeah.
I like how you did the wires down through the tank, so you don't see anything.
No, you can't even see it.
Yeah, that looks awesome, and it kind of goes along with the theme of the truck. There's a lot of rust and patina here, and the tank just fits right in there.
I didn't, like I say, this is the way it came to me. I just stuck it in here and hooked up the fuel. I'm not about to paint it or mess with it.
Yeah, no. And we'll stay away from the primer.
Yeah. And then, okay.
So, you've got a pretty hot differential in here, don't you?
Yeah,
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So the truck wasn't costing me enough, so I had to get on the internet and spend more money, right?
Yeah.
So I bought a Curry Fab 9 what I did, I called them, and they're wonderful people. And they said, set your truck bed upside down, and then put your wheels in it. Your wheels and tires in it, place them, perfect, and then measure the distance, your face. So, and send us your hub face. So I did, and then the Fab 9 is the coolest thing on planet Earth, so I had to have it. So,
well, and you'd never guess, you know, you look at this truck driving down the street, you'd never guess there was a Curry Fab 9 under there.
Oh, no. No, and then something you're not seeing that's pretty cool. It's got a big shaft top loader out of a 70 Torino Cobra jet.
Okay, so that the 4-speed transmission?
Yeah, it's out of it. And see, they made two. They made a close ratio and then your standard top loader. Yeah. But the big shaft was, I think, 3/8 shaft, tail and input and out. Yeah. And I mean, they're stout.
Yeah.
And they're heavy duty, and they were close ratio, see, to launch those old big cars like a Torino.
Right.
I mean, they're and then I put a quick time bell housing. Ka-ching, 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 right? So I put a quick time bell housing and a McLeod clutch in it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we need to take a look under this truck and see if money's bleeding.
Yeah.
I mean, so this thing shifts like an old muscle car.
Oh, it is. It's identical. My brother and I had a 70 429 Super Cobra that had the same tranny.
Yeah.
It had the old shaker hood on it, and I wasn't good, but my brother could rip it through 4 gears like nobody's business. So it's kind of nostalgia for me to have one. You can tell who's really shifting by the scratch between first and second gear on the pavement.
The black marks on the pavement.
Yeah, if it's only that wide, you know that guy got there in a hurry. But
yeah,
can you show us the interior? Yeah. Those are Stuart Warner, I think they're called them nostalgia gauges.
Okay.
And oh yeah, I built that whole dash from scratch, and then see the holds the steering column, I built all of that from scratch.
Oh wow. And is the steering column, is that original or?
No, that's who's the one in Phoenix? In one of those big shops, and then you give them roughly the length you want.
Okay, and so then they make it for you, and okay, great.
Yeah, and then that's like a NASCAR wheel mount on it, so you can just pop that off if you want.
Quick connect. Yeah. And I noticed that you've still got the original master cylinder for the clutch and the brake. They're under the truck.
Well, I mean, I used the original pedals and all of that, but then I put a big master cylinder, a big modern master cylinder. Okay. And then I put a big clutch.
Slave cylinder, or master and slave.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Awesome. That is so cool. So many times you see people put, you know, they get rid of the original pedals and they hang them under the dash. It's awesome to see that. It's so cool. That is so cool.
And you know, I had to go in by the frame and mount all of that. Stuff
I know exactly
is down there.
About. Yep. Wow.
But anyway, and then I love that stick. That's a Hearst. Yeah. You know, I put a Hearst Super Comp on that old top loader.
And it, you know, the contour of the stick, it matches the seat.
Yeah.
It's like right at home. That's perfect.
Yeah, and I wanted to do a bench seat. You know, everybody kind of goes buckets and all goofy. This thing is just like 1947.
So Joe, I noticed that you got a cattle brand on the dash of your truck there. You mind telling us the story behind that?
Yeah, my dad, we ranched Wyoming, Montana, and then here in northeastern Arizona. But this brand, my dad bought a bunch of cattle in Wyoming, and they had it on it. It was not our brand, but they came with it, so I adopted it. It's been on everything I've ever built ever since, my motorbike, my guitars, and everything. And I had a real good friend of mine make that little thing for me named Leon King, because he's a spur builder, been building them for 40 some years.
Okay.
And he actually, I cut out all his shanks for his spurs on my CNC table.
Oh yeah.
So when he hit pair 1000, he made me pair 1000 and gave it to me.
Oh wow.
And so, And then he did the one on my motorbike too. You'll see it when you see that video.
Sure.
And yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really, and
it's so subtle you almost don't notice it. You
gotta look. You gotta know to look for
it.
You know,
and that's kind of cool. I like it like that.
But anyway, yeah, and I got the doors. You know, they're good.
Yeah, that for 1947, that closes pretty good. I think it closes better than my Dodge.
Give it time.
Yeah, right. All right, let's see it. You got Carter AFBs, it looks like.
Yeah, see, and they had Hollies.
Okay.
See, a side oiler had a pair of
From
Hollies.
the factory, it had Hollies.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And when the motor was given to me, it had this set of AFBs, and I'm a Mopar guy, so I thought, what a nice thing for a Ford, you know. No, I'm just teasing.
We're going to make it run right.
I'm just joking. But anyway, they are so simple and easy to keep running. It's got a couple, I think they're 5s or 550s on it.
Okay.
So they're not overdoing it. They're easy to keep
right.
with vacuum secondaries on them.
Okay, yeah, great.
And
now, this has got the Cobra Black Wrinkle stuff. Is this aftermarket or?
No. This is the way this motor came in 1966.
Oh, wow.
And like these are Shelby American. I mean, they're Shelby American inside them. I mean, they're numbered. They're real. Oh no, they're not. Nothing's repop under here. Which I was so fortunate to get it like it is and then leave it like it is.
Well, you know, there's probably a guy with a Mustang out there crying right now that this is
Believe me, you know the guys that build the little Shelby Cobra cars?
Yes.
I've been chewed out by a half a dozen of them for putting this because they're going, that motor needs to be in a Shelby. And I'm going, well, it's in a Ford.
Yeah.
I always had 426 Hemi cars and everything and didn't think there was another motor on planet Earth till I found out about side oilers.
Yeah.
And they are extremely special. They were basically just a high revving racing motor. They're not even drilled for hydraulic lifters. And they've got screw-in freeze plugs. They're cross bolted. And the side oiler was to help them oil when you were going to high rev for long lengths of time. Because the center oiler, all the oil wound up on top like a NASCAR race, and then the bottoms burned up on them.
Right.
So that was why they came about. Anyway, they're just a really special motor. Like Ford made the Boss 429, made the Camry, but as far as credentials of winning stuff, this is the motor that Shelby beat Ferrari with. Wow. It was a side oiler. I mean, they've got racing history and credentials.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, you know, you're telling me about your side oiler, and so I got online to see, well, what are those things worth? And I about fell over when I saw what they were going for. They're expensive.
People don't realize how darn rare they are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just really rare, and they were used. I mean, this motor has a sleeve, I think it was number 1. It had an incident. That's one reason I'm not going to take it and just burn the tires off with it.
Yeah.
Just for its own safety.
Sure. Well, a motor that's that rare, you know, it's not like you're going to go find another side oiler when you shell this one.
Exactly. I don't know what it came out of, if it was bought over the counter. It could have. Who knows? It could have been in a Shelby Cobra. I doubt it. I totally doubt it. But it could have been.
Sure. So,
you know, you just don't know.
Yeah.
But
how much horsepower do you think this thing's putting out?
You know how it is. Everybody loves to exaggerate,
right? Yeah.
But if I had to be really honest, this thing's been stroked. And they were pretty conservative 4 1/4 new, these things.
Okay.
And I'd say somewhere between there and 450.
Oh yeah.
You know, it ain't no 600, but it's got plenty for this old truck.
Oh yeah. That's like 5 times what this truck came from the factory.
Yeah, a flathead 8 could never get there.
Yeah, it was under 100 horse. I mean, the hot one was 80 horsepower.
Oh yeah.
I left out an important detail. Your entire exhaust system is ceramic coated all the way to the back.
It is.
And can you tell us the story about the exhaust?
Well, the exhaust, when I got this in here, and you know, naturally you'd like your exhaust to come back and go back into your frame.
Yes.
Inside your frame, right behind your motor, like normal. Well, there was no doing it in this little thing with this big motor.
Right.
So I came down, I don't know, maybe you'd call that zoomy style.
Okay.
And then went down the back of the front fender, and then went in and got my frame rails.
Gotcha.
And then what I did, I just took a head and I measured it, and then I CAD drew the flanges, actually out of 3/8, they're plenty heavy.
Yeah, yes.
And then I bought mandrel bends, and I made all of the pipes all the way back, and then I tacked them all up.
Okay.
And then, because I just run an old scratch start Heliard.
TIG welder?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got this buddy, his name is Reggie Sosi.
Okay.
And I mean, this guy, he has a pedal, he can weld. I mean, really well.
Right.
I forget to tell people he did it. I let them believe I did it sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. And then, so what I did, I built the whole exhaust. Then I handed it off to Reggie.
Mm-hmm.
He welded it all up, and then I hauled it down there to Phoenix. And this ceramic coat is unreal. They sandblast it and then put it on. And there's color options. You can get blue or this gold. And I don't know, it doesn't rust. I thought the truck was worth it.
Yeah, oh yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It always catches me off guard when I look under the truck and the exhaust is this gold color.
Yeah.
I'm not used to seeing that, especially with all the rust, you know?
No dirt and rust.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always catches me off guard. It looks amazing.
I put a really nice, really important, a really nice radiator.
Yeah, high capacity radiator.
Yeah.
That's a must have on a build like this.
Yeah. And then another thing about this thing, you can't get it out of the darn truck without pulling the whole front clip off.
Yeah.
And then I roll steel when you don't have an inner fender.
Yeah.
You've really got to support this frame and rigid it up. So I took 3/8 by 1.25 and rolled it and put it inside.
Yeah, tucked it in there.
The fenders.
Yeah.
Bolted it in.
You can feel it. I mean, you can feel this thing very rigid.
You know, so it isn't flopping around all the time. And then,
so it's almost a miniature frame. I mean,
it is.
You've got your frame that holds the engine and the chassis and everything, and then you've got another additional frame for the body.
You do, and it goes clean back here from the cab and then carries down all the way to the frame rails. This big heavy, see where it comes down the outside of the...
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and then it goes back and then it goes clean in these bars and then bolts into your frame.
There it is.
So
that's slick. Good thinking.
Well, I didn't want it falling off there at 80.
It's not a good look, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't want to tear up a nice radiator.
Right. And good luck, you know, these fenders are kind of paint matched. So, you know, you lose one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not.
Then you're painting the whole truck.
I wanted to preserve it a little, and I got on YouTube like everybody else, and this guy was using boiled linseed oil and a little paint thinner.
Yes.
And man, I mean, you rub it down every once in a while, and it works.
Yeah, and it doesn't give it that glossy look. You know, it keeps it looking like it's supposed to. I agree with you. And I mean, there are guys that clear coat them, and that, you know, that's the way they do it. That's great.
You can keep it on there, but man.
But I'm with you. I kind of prefer the natural.
Me too.
And that linseed oil does the trick.
The guy that taught me how to do CAD and run my CAD table, John Hunt, he's down in southern Arizona. This was out of my league, so I called him up. I said, John, I need some stuff for my side oiler truck.
Yeah.
So this showed up in the mail.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
I just want to thank him because it is really perfect for the truck.
Yeah, and the bad thing about this truck is you'd never guess that there's a side oiler under there. So you got to do something, you know.
Yeah.
I guess the exhaust note, when you fire it up, you're gonna, you know, you're gonna hear that.
Yeah, and it's so. I mean, the motor is so special, and the fact that I have one, even the guy gave it to me.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do the motor justice with the truck.
One thing I noticed, I see you driving this thing out and about. I'll be cruising through town and I see this thing buzzing around.
I drive it every day.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I drive it. No sweat. If I want to go 100 miles, I just get in and go.
I just love the way this thing sounds.
You know how they are, probably won't start.
Oh yeah. About this is it still rides like it's 1947.
Oh, man.
You know, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Too many people cut the front ends out, and they, you know, they make them like a modern car, and I don't blame them. You know, it rides nice and handles good. But there's something cool about feeling what it was like to ride around in a truck that's built in the 40s.
Well, and like my dad said, the only time they're in the road is when they're crossing it.
Yeah, it's like a bad pinball game. Such a cool truck. Oh, there it is.
I just go to 4th gear in.
Oh wow. Well, this thing's got so much torque.
That's what I mean.
You know, you got the luxury. Yeah. This has been a fun day. I really appreciate you letting us come out.
Oh shoot, I've enjoyed the heck out of it.
Drive this old truck. You know, I wonder how many bales of hay this thing's hauled.
I'll put it this way, maybe it made some happy cattle. A lot of the personality of the truck is still here. You didn't cut so much of the truck away that it's not a 47 Ford anymore. No, I mean the inside, outside,
yeah,
which is really important to me.
Well, that does it for this episode of OverTorqued Rides. We hope you've enjoyed the ride. A special thanks to Joe Hardin and everybody who helped make his truck a success. We'll catch you on the next one.